Week 3 in the NFL is almost here, and we have some actual exciting matchups coming up. We got the Chargers versus Chiefs starting off at 10 a.m. Patrick Mahomes is facing off against Justin Herbert. This is going to be a duel of quarterbacks we're going to see for a long time in the AFC West. It's taking place at Arrowhead Stadium. My pick for this game is the Chiefs. I feel like the Chargers have some discipline issues, especially considering the amount of penalties they had against them in their last matchup against the Cowboys. So we're going to go with the Chiefs here. I think Mahomes is a little upset after the last loss. It was 36-35 heartbreaking loss where Clyde Edwards-Helaire fumbled. I think Mahomes is going to have a big day. I'm thinking 300 yards, 4 touchdowns. Next, you got the Cardinals versus Jaguars. I think this is going to be an easy Cardinals victory. Cardinals have looked really good in their first 2 weeks, especially against the Titans. Against the Vikings, they kind of falter a little bit, but were able to scratch out a win. They're facing off against the Jaguars team who has not figured out any way to have a consistent offense. Trevor Lawrence might throw another 2 interceptions, and that's just how it's going to be. Next, you got the Bears versus the Browns. Justin Fields is making his first official start in the NFL, so congratulations to him. He's a very exciting quarterback to watch. I think he just needs to calm down. I think he needs more time in the system in Chicago, especially because last week when he came in, he did some actual pretty exciting things, but he did have an interception as well, only threw for about 60 yards on 15 attempts. Face off against the Browns, who I think the Browns are a very good team. They are my pick to win the AFC North just because I really like the Browns. I like their defense. The talent around Baker Mayfield is spectacular. So we're going with Cleveland there. Next, we got the Washington football team versus the Buffalo Bills. We're going with Buffalo Bills here. Heineke is going to be the starting quarterback. I love watching Heineke play. Heineke's a baller. He just pretty much puts it all on the field. Washington football team's defense hasn't been as good as we expected it would be going into the season. Maybe they could turn that around, but Buffalo is just a well-oiled machine. Great running game. Josh Allen is having a little bit of a slump, but I think he's going to be able to turn around this week against the Washington football team. Next, we got the Colts versus Titans. I'm going to take the Titans here. Derrick Henry was an absolute monster last week against Seattle. I think he ran for about 230 yards. He's going to face a much more difficult defense in the Colts, who have a much better front seven. But Colts, the quarterback position always remains a question mark for the Colts after the departure of Andrew Luck. Carson Wentz sprained both his ankles last week, which was mind-boggling. He wants to play this week. I don't know if he's going to be able to play on 2 sprained ankles. So we're going to take Tennessee here. Saints versus Patriots. I'm going to go with the Saints. The reason I say that is because the Saints have a much more talented team. They have a much better team. They did get beaten last week by Carolina, who have been just world beaters so far going this season. They're playing against the Patriots. Mac Jones, he's good. Mac Jones is very good, but he's still a rookie. Then play against a very difficult defense in the New Orleans Saints. I don't know how he's going to be able to handle that. If he can somehow pull out a win, that'd be a very impressive victory for Mac Jones. Next, we got the Falcons versus the Giants. I'm taking the Giants. This is a team. This is a game where both teams actually are pretty much wanting to lose at this point. I'm going to take the Giants just because of their talent. Danny Dimes, Saquon Barkley. You can't really beat that. Atlanta doesn't really have those guys. They have Calvin Ridley. Calvin Ridley is an absolute monster as a receiver. But it just seems like the Falcons cannot catch a break this season, especially after losing as bad as they did against Philadelphia and then turning around, giving up 48 points to the Buccaneers. Rough. That's very rough to watch. Next, we got the Bengals versus Steelers. I'm going to take the Steelers here. The reason I take the Steelers here is because the Bengals last week, Joe Burrow threw 3 interceptions on 3 consecutive plays, which was pretty wild. Do I think that was a fluke? Yes. Definitely. But the Bengals do not have the talent the Pittsburgh Steelers have. The talent the Pittsburgh Steelers have just at the receiving position outweighs heavily the Bengals' talent. Chase Claypool, Deontay Johnson, and Juju Smith-Schuster are all excellent receivers. Ben Roethlisberger is a little long in the tooth. He just doesn't have the zip on the ball. He's just not able to complete the passes he once could. But I think he can still do enough to pick up victories in the regular season. Next, we move on to the Baltimore Ravens versus the Detroit Lions. Baltimore Ravens got a really big win last week on Monday Night Football facing off against the Kansas City Chiefs. Or was it Sunday night? Sunday Night Football facing off against the Kansas City Chiefs. The reason I say that is because Lamar Jackson came out, balled out. He did throw 2 interceptions early in the game. That is what it is. But Lamar Jackson makes his money running the ball from the quarterback position, and he does that better than anyone I have ever seen in my life. He ran for 2 touchdowns last week, completely just destroyed the Chiefs' defense. And it was his first win against Patrick Mahomes. So that does a big thing to him psychologically. Really, like, he got past that hurdle in his career. Facing off against the Detroit Lions, who had a actual pretty impressive performance in the first half against the Green Bay Packers. However, they just weren't able to keep it for the long game. Jared Goff has been doing all right. I mean, not nearly as good as Matthew Stafford has been performing for the Rams, but he has been playing well. I'm going to take the Baltimore Ravens here just because Lamar Jackson is he's the X factor. You can't really account for him. I don't think the Lions really have the defense to stop a Lamar Jackson. I don't think anyone has a defense to stop Lamar Jackson. I'm going to keep it honest. Jets versus Broncos. Got to take the Broncos here. Teddy Bridgewater has been an absolute world beater so far this season, absolutely diming up every defense he's played against, while the Jets haven't been able to keep the ball on offense. Zach Wilson has thrown 7 interceptions. And listen, he's a rookie. It is what it is. It happens. He's thrown 7 interceptions in his first 2 games, which it happens, I guess. But the Jets really have no talent, no heart. I don't know. I mean, they can't win games. Taking the Broncos here. Broncos defense spectacular. Von Miller is back in form, and they have Patrick Surtain, who is a great corner, who's going to be a lockdown corner for a while. I compare him to Champ Bailey, to be honest, his man-to-man skills. So we're going to take the Broncos here. They're going to move on to 3-0. Dolphins versus Raiders. I'm going to take the Raiders here. Raiders have been great this so far in the season. They are 2-0 going into this game. They're going to leave 3-0. The AFC West has 4 of the best football teams in football. Chargers are going to be the bottom of the division just because they can't they can't compete. Not with these teams. I mean, Raiders, Derek Carr is an early MVP favorite. And Dolphins just lost 35-0. So I have no reason to pick the Dolphins. One of the game, actually, this might be game of the weekend, to be honest, right here. Buccaneers versus Rams. Yeah, it's game of the weekend. I know a lot of people like saying Eagles, Cowboys, Eagles, Cowboys. I don't care. It's Buccaneers, Rams. You know why it's Buccaneers, Rams? Because you got TB12 GOAT facing off against Matthew Stafford with 2 of the best defenses the NFL has seen in the past 5 years, and just extreme talent surrounding them. This is a 125 game Pacific time, 4:25 Eastern Standard Time. You need to watch this game. I mean, that's all I can say. You need to watch this game. I know I'm going to be watching this game because Buccaneers, Rams. Oh my God, it's going to be a shootout or it's going to be a defensive barn burner. Oh, I'm so excited. The Buccaneers on the defensive side of the ball have one of the best front sevens in football, with Devin White leading the helm at middle linebacker. Vita Vea, their nose tackle, is a force. While the Rams have Aaron Donald. The Rams have all the big names that, like, the household names. Well, the Buccaneers just have a ton of great players. And that's the difference here, and I'm so excited to watch it. I'm taking the Rams because it's in LA. If it was in Tampa, I think I would take the Buccaneers. Taking the Rams. Seahawks versus Vikings. Got to go with the Seahawks. The Seahawks had a heartbreaking overtime loss in Seattle last week versus Tennessee. Their offense completely shut down in the 4th quarter. It was rough to watch. Vikings also had a heartbreaker loss to the Cardinals, 34-33. Vikings could easily be 3-0 on the season if they were to hypothetically win this game. But I'm taking Seattle here because let Russ cook, I guess. They're very good offensively, but I don't know why they get shut down at times. I feel like, so watching the games, I feel like the Seattle Seahawks rely too much on the deep ball. They have a lot of deep breaking routes, a lot of post routes, a lot of streaks, things like that. But in order for Russell Wilson to really be able to open that up, you need a lot of short to intermediate passes. And on their drive in overtime, I felt like everything was attempt to become a home run ball. This is just from my recollection. I didn't really do I didn't like break down film on it or anything. Everything seemed like it wanted to be a deep ball. Chris Carson was doing well early, and I feel like they went away from Chris Carson. And that kind of set them up for failure late in the game. Especially when you get the ball in overtime, you had plenty of time. I don't know why you're going for streaks the entire time. I think Seattle needs to calm down. They need to go back to more of a West Coast offense instead of a deep ball offense. Because with the West Coast offense sets up the run, or sets up the pass with the pass. A lot of short to intermediate routes. It's a lot of crossing routes, a lot of slants, things like that, curls, ins, outs, just within 10 yards. And that's what they need to go back to. I don't know if they will. I mean, I'm just a guy on YouTube, but that's just my opinion on the Seattle Seahawks offense. Next we got the Packers versus the 49ers. The Packers, I'm going to take them because Aaron Rodgers is a bad man, but this could easily go to the 49ers just considering off the back of their defense. Next we go to the Eagles Cowboys. It's going to be our Monday night game. I will take the Cowboys. Yeah, I'm going to take the Cowboys. It's in Dallas. Dang, but that's always a recipe for disaster for the Cowboys. I feel like every time they play the NFC East, they lose. I'm going to take the Cowboys because it's in Dallas. And they had a really nice win last week against the Chargers where they won 30 to 7 or 20 to 17. Those are motivating wins when you win tight ones like that. But this could easily go to the Eagles. Those are my week 3 picks. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Thank you.